I like how I have like my whole mic and everything as if I'm like talking into the mic, but I'm not. I'm not even using the mic at this point. Maybe I should use the mic. I mean, damn. Oh, I already have somebody in there. You guys are so gracious. I'm gonna have to like cut this part out. You guys, go to my YouTube. Okay, if I'm gonna start talking to YouTube now. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, we are about to go through the second half of the 35-page article. And hi Sharon. I'm gonna log out of here, you guys, and there is a link in my bio. So go, 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 go. Okay, I had to log out of that. Let's get it started. Hi. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm gonna move this over so I could just pull up this information really quickly. Whew, there's a lot to talk about, but I feel like we should just get right into it. I mean, um, so according to this article that I have already talked about the 35-page article that was put out prior to the gag order and whatnot, and then they were going to do a second part. So I really do believe this 35-page article, but maybe some people don't. I understand if you don't, but I do, because they have way too much information for us to sit here and say there's not a chance that this is true. I mean, how do we know it's not true? How? They have too much information to know that it's not true. Hey, you guys. Okay, so they decided to leave because of the snow. So Brian's dad, we're just getting right into it, you guys. Brian's dad and Brian decided to leave because of the snow. It had nothing to do with that shooting that happened in Musco, Idaho. It was completely because of the snow, according to resources. And let me tell you, there were a few different resources that quoted Brian Koberger's dad. I mean, they did, you know? So, I mean, maybe his dad, Brenna, brought it up to the cop. Maybe he didn't, but they decided to leave because of the snow and because the dad got nervous and he was like, "The snow's really bad. I think we need to get out of here." He had just flown in from Pennsylvania to Seattle. Then he took a little small 2-engine jet to the Musco Pullman airport, right? So he takes it over there, and his dad said, "Hey, we need to go because of the snow." Hey, you guys, I'm so glad that y'all switched over and are watching this. So his dad pulled up his GPS for the fastest route, according to this article, which I genuinely believe there's a lot of truth in. So his dad pulls up his GPS, puts in what is the fastest way to Pennsylvania, as anybody would do. I mean, I do that almost every day, even coming home from bringing my kids to school. When I have to jump on the interstate, I'm like, do I take this exit or that exit? What is the fastest way? It said that the fastest route was one way, but Brian Koberger said, no, we have to go this way. And when his dad said why, he said, oh, because of the weather, because of the weather. We're going away from the weather. So it didn't make sense, fastest route, but it did still make sense to his dad. Okay, we're going a few hours out of the way, but we're avoiding the weather. And his dad was afraid of the weather. So that's why they went this route. But now looking back at it, it's definitely sketchy. You know what I mean? I'm saying, no, we're not going to go this way. We're going to go that way. It's sketchy. Hello. Brenna, did his dad know? I mean, according to this, it doesn't seem like he knew. But Um, so another crazy thing that was put into this article is that the FBI lost Brian Koberger and his dad in the vehicle just when they started on their way out. And this is the craziest part is that they said, they lost Brian Koberger, you guys, we don't know where he is. In the affidavit, it said they started tracking him somewhere in his route to Pennsylvania. In this article, it says they couldn't find him. It was a Hatbox, what was it? Hatbox operation. So what does that mean? It's like old school. Watching him, everybody's watching him with watchful eyes. They don't think he's gonna leave. They're just watching his every move. I guess they got bored, got tired of it. He was doing the same thing for how long? For weeks. And then they decide to dip. So that's how they lost him. But how did they find him? They found him off of the license plate cameras. And it says that in here the ALPRs got lucky finding his plate in Loma, Colorado, which that where they found him on the license plate camera, that was the first traffic light they ever got in that area. And a little bit while after getting that first traffic light, they were like, I guess we'll put an ALPR on it, a license plate reader on it. Why not? The first traffic light in that area, because there was so little people there. Tell me that's not sketchy. You're traveling through a town that has so little people there that there's one traffic light that first got put up there, and they just got an ALPR. They were able to read your ALPR there, and that's where the FBI knew where to find you. That's why they said speculation. This is when we first started, we started tracking him at a point in his journey towards Pennsylvania. At a point, why? Because they didn't follow him from where he originally began because they lost him. It all makes sense. It all makes sense, guys. So, also in all of this, let me read some of these comments. Do you believe that there's any chance of him getting off? Yeah. I mean, from the information we know now, sure. But I'm going to go back to this. So, Dylan, according to this entire article, it seems like D, the surviving roommate, must have said that he was walking purposefully out of there. It just seems as though, like, from what I've read, and I've read it a million times over, and I got emotional reading it over and over. It seems as though he was walking purposeful out of there, and the only person that would have known that was D, uh, one of the surviving roommates. So, let me read my notes on the next one. Okay, so 16 days later, after all this happened, after the quadruple homicide happened, not after all of this happened. I really don't want to say it like that, but after the quadruple homicide happened, 16 days later, Officer Payne knew it was Koberger, at least based upon what the WSU officer could find. The only thing that was off was the license plates, of course, because he was registered to Pennsylvania, then he re-registered his vehicle to Washington, but his plates were going to expire in the end of November, so he could easily fight that in court. Why would you re-register your plates right before then while they're about to expire? So what do you want me to do? I needed to re-register them. I knew I was going out of town with my dad. I just wanted to get it done before he was coming into town. I mean, hello, you get what I'm saying? So, um They do insinuate that BK's dad had no idea that the FBI would ever follow them. And that is why the whole Thai food incident happened. Where are y'all going? Right, to get Thai food? His dad is like, we're coming from WSU. To that cop, he's like, WSU? Obviously, it's a university. He's like, you work there? And he's like, no, but this crazy thing happened, and the SWAT team, and XYZ, whatever. Makes sense, right? Makes complete and total sense on why he would bring that up in the first place. The SWAT team, I mean, hello. His dad had no idea. I'm 100% convinced, and I really honestly I feel bad for his parents. But I'm not saying they didn't know afterwards or have any sort of suspicion or like speculation. I'm just saying like during the time from here to there, like maybe the dad didn't know. Um when will we know if they have more evidence? Uh, It depends on what documents are released because there's a gag order. So there's not going to be anything that comes out of the mouths of anybody having to do with this case, whether it be the surviving victims or the person being charged, aka Brian Koberger, or the lawyer, anybody having to do with this case legally or in the mix, in the mix, they're not going to be able to say anything. But if any legal documents are coming out, that's when we're going to know. That's why we were able to know about the search warrant. People said, why would they put out search warrant if there's a gag that they could put out the search warrant if there's a gag order. That's a piece of paper. You can't gag order a piece of paper. And so if there's any pieces of paper that have circumstantial amounts of evidence on it, you can't gag order that. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let's think of this. Okay, it goes into a great detail about how they honed in on Brian Koberger and getting into his parents' gated neighborhood, stating that they arrived there and saw that the gates were closed and they were not able to get through discreetly without typing in a code. They called a lot of people, apparently said, just ram through the gates. One of the people that were going through with that, I guess, operation knew somebody that lived in the neighborhood and they were able to obtain a code so they didn't even have to make their presence loudly known. They were able to get that code, type it in, go through the gates, and then that is when they honed in on Brian Koberger for his arrest. There was a WSU student found dead in the dorm. Do you think that this is related to the case? Um, if that student is related to the case, then it is fully related to hazing and fraternity slash sorority acts. Genuinely believe if it is anywhere related to the case. I'm not saying that that is related to the case or that the case is being made up of fraternity or sorority acts, whatever, but I think if it is related to the case, that's what it is. But I do believe that fraternities and sororities are on a watchful eye because I guarantee you every single one of the members of each of those fraternities and sororities that they were both a part of, Ethan and the women that were brutally murdered or the ones that are surviving victims, they were all interrogated. And I couldn't imagine them doing something so stupid as to that. But kids are stupid. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for my entire platform with Chris. I'm speaking for myself. But I genuinely don't think that they are that stupid. How didn't they know they were being watched? I mean, who? Oh, okay, you guys. I'm gonna log off real quick because my baby is upset and my husband is with him right now. But I hope that this gave a good amount of insight, and I love you guys, and I will be back on tomorrow. Thank you for watching.